Salams and welcome as we continue our series on the amazing human brain and how we can remove the chains around our brain and release our brain to have independent thinking. Today, I shall be talking about happiness and the human brain. In simple terms, if we think happy thoughts, then inevitably we will become happy. But if we fill our brain with miserable thoughts, and if you can see that, with miserable thoughts, then inevitably we will become miserable. And that's by the famous motivational speaker in the early 20th century in the United States of America, Dale Carnegie. Okay, in simple terms, if this is your brain, if that's your brain, I don't know if you can see that, I'll just try and swing around here. If that is your brain, then think of your brain as a vessel. Your brain is a vessel or a cup. Now, it all depends what you're putting into that cup. If you're putting good things into that cup, then you will drink. Let us say you have a cup of milk. So you think of your brain as a cup of milk. If your glass has got pure milk inside, you will drink that milk and it will be very nourishing. You'll feel good after drinking it. But if that milk, so if a glass of fresh milk is positive thoughts, happy thoughts. But if that milk is stale or it's got toxins inside or got ingredients inside that is unwholesome, those are negative thoughts. Then you can no longer drink that milk. You will no longer feel happy drinking that milk. It'll be bitter, it'll be sour. So if you fill your brain a lot with positive thinking, then the brain is very, very powerful. It has got a small amount known as the conscious brain, which is a very small percent, 10%. If you can think of an iceberg, you can see 10%, but 90% of the iceberg is under the ocean. You cannot see it. And that is why the Titanic sank. Because the iceberg, they saw the iceberg, it looked like a very small iceberg, but the rest of the iceberg was under the ocean, under the Atlantic Ocean. You cannot see most of the ocean, the iceberg. Similarly, the brain, there's two parts. The conscious brain is like when I'm talking to you, when you are listening, when you're having coffee, when you're studying, when you're driving a car. That's your conscious brain. That is what you're doing actively right now. If you're scrolling through your cell phone, that is called the conscious brain. But that is only 10% of the power of your brain. Meanwhile, the rest of the time, your brain, the subconscious brain is working. It's working. There's something working on your mind. There's something you're worried about. There's something, the bills you haven't paid, or there's an appointment you're supposed to do, or you're supposed to go to pick up some errands, or got to do this. So your subconscious brain, even though it's not here in the conscious part, but it's working all the time. And that makes you unnecessary. Somehow you just don't feel right. You feel worried, or you don't know what's going on because the subconscious brain is working. But it depends how we focus on it. Now, depending on how our brain works, who puts our brain in a cage? We watch television, we watch the media, and inevitably you will find things that will make you unhappy. Negative thinking, negative thoughts, or there's problems in the country, or there's problems with crime, or there's problems in Europe, or there's problems in the Middle East. So these are all negative thoughts. And as what I mentioned before previously, is that we must think of our brain as a beautiful botanical garden. Now and then, every week or every month or every now and then, think of your brain as a beautiful botanical garden, and in that garden, you got two types of flowers. You have the beautiful roses and orchids who are going to give a beautiful, wonderful smell, and then you're going to have weeds. The weeds are your negative thoughts. The weeds are your toxins. So now and then, remove the toxins. Ask yourself the question. Keep asking yourself the question, who put that negative thought into my brain? Did someone insult me? Did someone break my heart? Did someone tell me wrong things? Is that a toxic person? So try and verify the information that you have received. And now and then remove the weeds from your brain. Remove the toxins from your brain. Remove the negative thinking from your brain. And fill your brain with positive thoughts, happy thoughts. Read a few books, some comedy books or some adventure books, or watch some movies that are comedy movies, or about romance or about love. Everybody loves to watch movies about romance or about love. What is life? Life is love. Without love, there is no life. So try and get love into your brain. Play with your children, your grandchildren, your spouses, whoever, your parents, your family, your neighbors, your best friends. Fill your heart with your brain with good thoughts all the time. And remember, in the same way that I'm filling my brain with good thoughts and don't quit, Subscribe, help me grow my channel to 1,000 and then 10,000 and then infinity and beyond. It'll only take you 5 seconds. Stay well and fill your brain with good thoughts. Break the chain around your brain and stay well.